The River Thames is a river that flows through southern England. It is the longest river entirely in England and the second longest in the United Kingdom, after the River Severn. While it is best known for flowing through London, the river also flows alongside other towns and cities, including Oxford, Reading, Henley-on-Thames and Windsor, in an alternative name, derived from its long tidal reach up to Teddington Lock in southwest London. The lower reaches of the river are called the Tideway. The section of the river running through Oxford is traditionally called the Isis, with a total length of 215 miles. The Thames is the longest river entirely in England and the second longest in the United Kingdom. It rises at Thames Head in Gloucestershire and flows into the North Sea via the Thames estuary. On its way, it passes through London, the country's capital, where the river is deep and navigable to ships. The Thames drains the whole of Greater London. Its tidal section, reaching up to Teddington Lock, includes most of its London stretch and has a rise and fall of 7 metres, running through some of the driest parts of mainland Britain and heavily abstracted for drinking water. The Thames's discharge is low considering its length and breadth. The Severn has a discharge almost twice as large on average despite having a smaller drainage basin. In Scotland, the Tay achieves more than double the average discharge from a drainage basin that is 60% smaller. The administrative powers of the Thames Conservancy have been taken on with modifications by the Environment Agency and, in respect of the Tideway part of the river, such powers are split between the agency and the Port of London Authority. In non-administrative use, stemming directly from the river and its name are Thames Valley University, Thames Water, Thames Television Productions, Thames and AMP, Hudson Publishing, Thames Link and South Thames College. Historic entities include the Thames Ironworks and Shipbuilding Company. Two broad canals link the river to other river basins, the Kennet and Avon Canal and the Grand Union Canal. The Grand Union effectively bypassed the earlier, narrow and winding Oxford Canal, which also remains open as a popular scenic recreational route. 3 further cross-basin canals are disused but are in various stages of reconstruction. The Thames and Severn Canal, which operated until 1927, the Wey and Arun Canal to Littlehampton, which operated until 1871, and the Wilts and Berks Canal. Rowing and sailing clubs are common along the Thames, which is navigable to such vessels. Kayaking and canoeing also take place. Major annual events include the Henley Royal Regatta and the boat race, while the Thames has been used during 2 Summer Olympic Games, 1908-1948. Safe headwaters and reaches are a summer venue for organized swimming, which is prohibited on safety grounds in a stretch centered on central London. Along its course are 45 navigation locks with accompanying weirs. Its catchment area covers a large part of southeastern and a small part of western England, and the river is fed by 38 named tributaries. The river contains over 80 islands, with its waters varying from freshwater to almost seawater. The Thames supports a variety of wildlife and has a number of adjoining sites of special scientific interest, with the largest being in the remaining parts of the North Kent marshes and covering 5,449 hectares. The marks of human activity, in some cases dating back to pre-Roman Britain, are visible at various points along the river. These include a variety of structures connected with the use of the river, such as navigations, bridges and watermills, as well as prehistoric burial mounds. A major maritime route is formed for much of its length for shipping and supplies, through the Port of London for international trade, internally along its length and by its connection to the British canal system. The river's position has put it at the centre of many events in British history, leading to it being described by John Burns as liquid history. The river gives its name to 3 informal areas: the Thames Valley, a region of England around the river between Oxford and West London, the Thames Gateway, and the greatly overlapping Thames estuary around the tidal Thames to the east of London and including the waterway itself. Thames Valley Police is a formal body that takes its name from the river, covering 3 counties. The administrative powers of the Thames Conservancy have been taken on with modifications by the Environment Agency and, in respect of the Tideway part of the river, such powers are split between the agency and the Port of London Authority. In non-administrative use, stemming directly from the river and its name are Thames Valley University, Thames Water, Thames Television Productions, Thames and AMP, Hudson Publishing, Thames Link and South Thames College. Historic entities include the Thames Ironworks and Shipbuilding Company. Etymology: the Thames, from Middle English Thames, is derived from the Brittonic Celtic name for the river, Thamesis, recorded in Latin as Thamesis and yielding modern Welsh Tavois Thames. The name probably meant dark and can be compared to other cognates such as Russian, Sanskrit Tamiz, Irish Tamheel and Welsh Twyll, darkness, and Middle Irish Tamin, dark grey. The same origin share countless other river names, spread across Britain, such as the River Tamar at the border of Devon and Cornwall, several rivers named Tame in the Midlands and North Yorkshire, the Tavy-on-Dartmoor, the Teme of the North East, the Tyvi and Teme of Wales, the Teviot in the Scottish borders, as well as one of the Thames tributaries called the Tame. Kenneth H. Jackson has proposed that the name of the Thames is not Indo-European, while Peter Kitson suggested that it is Indo-European but originated before the Celts and has a name indicating muddiness, from a root *tar, melt. It has also been suggested that it is not of Celtic origin, but Germanic meaning, inhabited place where the estuary begins, i.e. a place by the river, rather than the river itself. Indirect evidence for the antiquity of the name Thames is provided by a Roman potsherd found at Oxford, bearing the inscription Tame Subugus Fecit. It is believed that Tame Subugus's name was derived from that of the river. Thames was referred to as a place, not a river in the Ravenna cosmography. The river's name has always been pronounced with a simple t. The Middle English spelling was typically Thames and the Brittonic form Thamesis. A similar spelling from 1210, Thamesium, is found in the Magna Carta. The th spelling lends an air of Greek to the name and was added during the Renaissance, possibly to reflect or support a claim that the name was derived from the Thames in the Epirus, from where early Celtic-speaking groups were wrongly thought to have migrated to Britain. The Thames through Oxford is sometimes called the Isis. Historically, and especially in Victorian times, gazetteers and cartographers insisted that the entire river was correctly named the Isis from its source down to Dorchester-on-Thames, and that only for this point, where the river meets the Tame and becomes the Thamesis, should it be so called. Ordnance Survey maps still label the Thames as River Thames or Isis, down to Dorchester. However, since the early 20th century this distinction has been lost in common usage outside of Oxford, and some historians suggest the name Isis is nothing more than a truncation of Thamesis, the Latin name for the Thames. Richard Coates suggests that while the river was as a whole called the Thames, part of it, where it was too wide to ford, was called *Lonida. This gave the name to a settlement on its banks, which became known as Londinium. For the Indo-European roots *plure, flow, and *nedi, river, meaning something like the flowing river or the wide-flowing unfordable river. An alternative and simpler proposal is that London may also be a Germanic word, as Landen, with a similar origin to the word land. For merchant seamen, the Thames has long been just the London River. Londoners often refer to it simply as the river, in expressions such as south of the river,